Hey friends, before we get into the shooting portion of this video, I just wanted to let you know that from now till December 16th, I have 4 of my handcrafted, hand-beaded pouches for sale in my Etsy store. And they're on sale for what amounts to be about a 25% discount. And I'll hang them up on a hook behind me so you can take a look at them. And if you're interested, please go to my Lame Beaver Trading Company site on Etsy. Alright, let's get on to the pictures and then on to the shooting. So here's pouch number 1, and like all the pouches, you can go to my Etsy store and get a full description of what these pouches are. This particular pouch comes with a flint striker and a burning lens. And as you can see, we had a little bit of snow in the mountain yesterday. A lot of it actually has melted off. But it's that time of the year. So first of all, I want to show off the holster I made for this revolver. And I did make the hold down strap very tight so that if I decide to carry 6 and putting the hammer in between the 2 rounds, there's no way that that's going to go back far enough to jump over on top of the primer. But again, I'll do me, you do you. Okay, and I'm also going to be testing 3 types of bullets. First, I'll be shooting some factory rounds just so that I can get a feel for what the velocity is going to be. These are HSM cowboy loads. I believe it's HSM, but they are cowboy loads, and I believe they are 240 grains, but the factory depth is 1.511. With my reloads, I'm going to be shooting 4.6 grains of Trail Boss with a 240 grain projectile, pure lead, and I do have a factory crimp on it. But if you can kind of look at this bullet has a series of lube grooves, and depending on where you set the bullet, it'll change the velocity. Right now I have these set at 1.540, somewhere in that vicinity, but I'm also going to be shooting what I've loaded in the past. The lead is number 4 range lead, so it's got some tin in it, but as you can see, I have these set just a little bit deeper. I don't have any more grooves to set it in. If you look at the two side by side, I think you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be trying those in the factory just to get some velocities. I'm not interested on the gun shoots accurately at this point, just simply because I want to see what the velocities are. And thank goodness the wind died down. .675. She shot high. .624. .647. .672. The other one was .647. Yeah. She's shooting high. .690. .691. 682. She's shooting straight, but she's probably shooting maybe 7-8 inches high. All right, let me get reloaded. So let's just go over the numbers real quick. For those 6 shots, the high was 691, the low was 624, the average was 665 with an extreme spread of 67. So, all right, let's get on to the next string. Okay, the high of my reloads, and I am shooting Trail Boss with a 240 grain bullet. The high was 554, the low was 513, an average of 529 with an extreme spread of 41. All right, now I'm gonna shoot the bullet that's seated at the factory depth of 1.511, and these are my reloads. Let's see what they do. So if you're not familiar with this revolver, unlike the 1873, you don't just go straight down with the ejection rod. You have to bring it out and then down. But all in all, feels pretty good. Let me get the last 6 loaded and we'll see what the velocities are for those. So let me correct something right here. These bullets that I'm about to shoot are not my reloads. These have to be a factory bullet, because if you look at my bullets, I have these crimping grooves. And if you can see, the factory bullet is a much thicker crimping groove than what mine are. I do not have, I just double checked all my 44 specials, I do not have any of my reload bullets set to the same depth as the factory reloads. So I'm going to shoot these factory reloads that are this style and just see what kind of velocities I get out of them. Yeah, 673. Okay, the average was 660 with a spread of 31. The high being 673 and the low being 642. I'm going to shoot another round of my reloads and see what they do. I'm sure they're going to be about the same as previous, right in the 500s. All right. Looking over my bullets, I didn't realize I had so many factory 44 special ready to go, which is good, but I'm going to go ahead and shoot these 6, double check my velocities, and at this point I'm thinking I can either increase my powder charge to get these my reloads up to around 600, 650, and or seat the bullet a little bit deeper and bring the pressures up that way. But let me see what I can get with these 6. Well, I got 3 clay pigeons. I'm aiming about a foot below. One of them, let me turn the camera around. That one right there was actually shot through twice. The first bullet went through, didn't disintegrate it. And the one above that, that one took 1 bullet and disintegrated. And the one just below that, I don't know how well the camera's picking up, but that was the first one I broke. Let me get you the numbers. Again, they're in the 500s. Okay, I'm going to double check some numbers on the previous loads just simply because there is a standard deviation and I forgot to call those out. I need to go back and double check those. But on that round, the high was 661. Now I do have these bullets seated just a little bit more, and I'm not sure what the powder in grains is. I know it's all Trail Boss, but I may have played around with these a little bit. And of course, I didn't mark anything down just simply because I had completely intended to shoot all these through my Rossi, which I have not. But I'm still well within factory range. Okay. The high was 661. The low was 576. The average was 605. Extreme spread was 85, and the standard deviation, that's what I've been forgetting, was 28. So let me see if I can recover the standard deviation off the previous shots. Okay, that first round that were factory, the average was 665, extreme spread of 67, and the standard deviation of 22, and that's what I've missed. With my reloads, the soft lead, the average was 529, extreme spread of 41 with a standard deviation of 16. That might speak well for Trail Boss. And then the other factory loads that I was unaware of, the one that has the much taller band, rifling band, the average again was 660, standard deviation of 31, and the extreme spread was 31, and the standard deviation of 10. So whatever those are, they're pretty good. Hell, I don't remember. And the bottom of the case doesn't tell me. And then of course the last round, once again with Trail Boss, 605 was the average, extreme spread of 85, but a standard deviation of 28. On that round, in case I forgot, the high was 661. And once again, that's because I have that bullet seated a little bit deeper, but I may have a little bit more powder in them also. And there again, if you watch the previous video, when I do my reloads, there's a low side and then there's a high side, and I always try to put mine right in the middle so that if it throws a little bit more, I'm still well within the safe range, and if it throws a little bit less, I'm still well within the safe range. So what I'm going to do is just, for the hell of it, shoot 6 more rounds and then bid everybody adieu. Whoops, before I really bid everybody adieu, you might want to know what my impressions are of this 1860 Richards Transition Type 2 and 44 Special. Well, it shoots pretty good, with the exception of front sight's a little low, which we all expected. It is from Cimarron, and as you saw, I had a little bit of a trouble cycling it through, and I had to manipulate it by hand. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but this is a piece of Starline brass, and there's a little bit of a scratch across the face. So that tells me you birdie didn't polish up this as well as one would expect being sent to Cimarron. And I can tell you the loading gate right here, edge is kind of sharp. So obviously I'm going to have to get in there like typical you birdies. Doesn't matter who they ship them to, you're going to have to do a little bit of something with it. And I'm suspecting, because I did put the cases back in there and tried to figure out where it was hanging up on, and it looked like it's not loaded right now, but it looked like it was hanging up just right in here. That's what it looked like to me. But until I get the barrel off and really inspect the inside, I won't know for sure. But I like it. I like it a lot. And some of you may be thinking or asking why I didn't get this in 45 Colt. Well, the answer is simple. My Rossi shoots 44 Magnum. Again, you can shoot 44 Special through that. If I had purchased my Rossi R92 and 45 Long Colt, then this would have been 45 Colt. It's just that simple. I'm already set up to load 44 Special, 44 Magnum. The only thing that I have to be careful of is that I don't put a 44 Magnum in this thing. I hope that'll never happen. But anyways, I do like the way the gun shoots. From what I can tell, it does shoot straight, but it does shoot low. And I don't want to do anything with the trigger, or the hammer I should say, because this is just a typical 1860 rear sight cut into the hammer until I get about 100 rounds through it. Maybe bench it a little bit, few times, and see what it's really doing. But all in all, I'm glad this is part of my collection. So thanks for watching, and everybody now have a blessed day. I just did. Bye.